Patriots!
The Patriots Postgame Show, presented by Cybereason, with Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo, is your source for all the news and information following every Patriots game.
And the Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title. In the early 2000s, they won 3 of 4. Now they have won 3 of the last 5. Yes, it's still a dynasty.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Slipping and sliding, he was like a cat. Pop, pop, bang.
Patriots victorious over the Jets today at Gillette Stadium by a huge margin. 54-13, the final. Welcome into the Patriots postgame show presented by Cybereason. It's Hardy waiting on Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault will be joining us here momentarily. But as we look at the final score here and how it all unfolded, I'm curious to see if all of our keys to the game were met. And when it comes to putting it all together, I think Mike Dussault is going to be pretty happy. When it comes to the key of spreading them and shredding them, I think Paul Perillo is going to be happy. And when it comes to handling the pressure, I kept track, at least for the first 2 quarters, of what I thought were the pressure plays, the big plays, and I'm pretty happy. So I know Patriots fans are going to be happy, though. 54-13, the finals. The Pats improved to 3-4 on the season. They pick up their first home win of the season, and the Jets go away with their 1-5 record, still winless on the road. Let us welcome in Mike Dussault and Paul Perillo. Gentlemen, quite a game, huh?
Wow.
Were you not entertained?
Well, I was.
Really?
I don't want to. I know the second half I was a little disappointed when Zach Wilson went out. I was, you'd like to at least, if it's going to be a blowout, I at least want to get a look at him and see if he's got anything. But good start. I think that kind of set the tone early. A couple touchdowns, concerted effort seemed like to get Jonnu going. He kind of did a little bit. Unfortunately, he got hurt. A lot of injuries too today, but. Congratulations to the Patriots. Mac Jones, first 300-yard day. Thought they were real good in the red zone, finishing off with touchdowns. I like that.
5 for 5,
especially. The Jets, it was what it was in terms of the injuries and their performance. But 54 points, you'll take it any day of the week. I think it's a real good win, and hopefully they can take something from this and build. And I mean, next week, you got to go to L.A. You got to play a real good team in the Chargers,
sure.
and that's when the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And you want to put forth a performance like this, great, but
the Jets
shows you're capable of it.
The Jets had injuries to deal with, of course, Zach Wilson being the biggest one. But this wasn't a complete laydown like we saw from the Titans many years ago. This was a Jets team that was, still trying. And Paul, we talk about it week in and week out. When you have 2 professional football teams in the NFL, and one manages to beat the other one by more than 40 points, it's impressive regardless of the effort that the opponents were able to put up. And
for me, the big thing was, and we talked about this a little bit at the start in the pregame show, was the beginning of the game. I didn't want it to be the other team just rolled over and handed you the ball at the 20-yard line. You went in, scored, and then, all of a sudden you got I wanted a drive, a 3-and-out, and a drive. Everything that happened after that, I really, don't really care all that much about. The way they started that first quarter, 14-0, that to me was exactly what I was looking to see. I knew you had an overmatched opponent. I wanted to make them look like an overmatched opponent.
Right.
Now, Mike is right. It was sort of disappointing at that point. Zach Wilson goes out, so you can't really even get a chance to see, can they do the same thing they did to the kid the last time? Can they confuse, can they force some turnovers? Can they get in his head? Is that a thing? Can we make that a thing now going forward? No big deal. Take it, move on. Really sound performance, by far and away the most complete performance that they've had in the 7 games. They cut no turnovers. They cut way back in the penalties. As Mike said, 5 for 5 in the red zone. A lot of good things to feel happy about today.
Right. And, I think we're going to end up talking a lot about the first and second quarter in terms of, what you can learn about this team and what they did well during the game. The second half it didn't get into, silly time necessarily until the very end. But I'd say about midway through the second quarter, it started to feel a little bit silly. So let's, before we go much further, we'll do the good, the bad, and the training room presented by Theragun.
Now it's time for the good,
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
the bad,
If you were in my toilet bowl, I wouldn't bother flushing it.
and the training room.
You want a back rub?
Presented by Theragun.
Good, the bad, in the training room. We're not going to go crazy, especially with the bads. I don't want to be accused of nitpicking here today, but
Well, if we got anything in the bads, it's going to have to be a nitpick.
Well,
you just won 54-13.
Exactly.
In a game that wasn't that close.
So we'll we'll go over all three, and unfortunately there are a couple of training room things to get to, but we'll start off with the good, and we'll start off with Mike Dussault, your first good of the game, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Damian Harris. I thought he was a big key early, and I would connect that too to the offensive line. I don't want to steal any thunder from them earning their own good, because I do think they probably deserved it, just allowing one sack on Mac Jones. But I thought that they did a good job opening up running lanes for Damian Harris. As Paul was saying, just keep handing it to Damian Harris the whole time.
Yeah, just hand the ball to Damian Harris. They couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
No.
They could not stop him.
14 carries for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, and definitely blowing up the over of 64.5. So real good game for Damian Harris. Paul, your first good.
Yeah, I'm going to throw you for a little bit of a loop here. I'm going to give you Brandon Bolden. The
First,
guy,
He deserves
first on
it.
my list.
He deserves it.
A guy
First
that
on my
I,
list.
and I'm
He
not going to
does.
put words in anyone else's
Nope.
mouth. I'm going to say a guy that I have been sort of wondering why he gets so many touches. Now, this is going to be a backhanded compliment. I think, something about the game plan today said we're going to get the ball into the flat quickly and let the people make their plays. Jonnu Smith did it. I thought Damian Harris did it a little bit. J.J. Taylor did it when he got to the edges. But Brandon Bolden, 6 catches, I believe, today for Bolden.
Yeah,
6
79
catches for
yards.
79 yards and a touchdown.
We won't talk about his rushing.
No, but I just thought when they clearly had a design today that they wanted to attack. Maybe it was because of C.J. Mosley being out. Maybe it was for whatever other reason. But I thought that was a big part of what they did today. And it worked, and it was good to see Bolden contributing as a third down back.
He had more catches than any other receiver. He had more targets than any receiver except for Jacoby Myers. They were both targeted 7 times, but Bolden reeling in 6 of those for 79 yards and the touchdown. He was first on my good list today. Now, there are going to be some odd ones here for specific plays, and I'm sure you guys might have some issues with it, seeing how he only caught 2 balls today. But I thought Nelson Aguilar and the 2 catches that he made were huge impact plays. And one of them was early enough in the game to where I thought, all right, put out Aguilar on the good list here today.
Yeah.
You don't want to put him on the good list.
I don't know. He'd be on good list of Jason for me. I mean, he's fine. I thought they got him with the
I'm not
double
going to
pass.
argue with anything on the. I'm like,
No.
honest to God, I'm
Yeah.
not going to argue with anything on the
No,
good
he
list
was
today.
he was fine. And I mean, I think I guess maybe I can bleed into this because I was going to put Mac on there too, and just how much he spread the ball around. How much he's not keying in on 1 or 2 guys. It's going to everybody. I mean, Bolden comes in, he catches 6. Bourne had 4. Jonnu had a couple before he got hurt. Nelson, like you said, had 2, including that big touchdown to get things started. Myers 5 again. And big third down catch for him too. Even Jakob, I know he caught one from Hoyer. But the point remains just. I think Mac overall, first 300-yard game, no turnovers, and spreading the ball around. I'm putting him on there,
The weird
too.
part is I think it was the first half I think was kind of shaky for him. I don't think
For Mac?
for Mac.
Missed some
Yeah,
throws.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought other than New Orleans, the first half was the worst I've seen him play. I thought he missed some open throws. I thought some of the plays that they did succeed with were just like little flips, to guys there was nobody there. But the second half, he made a number of throws and racked up a ton of yards, 24 for 36 for 307, and ends up being a big day for Mac Jones. So
And look,
I don't have him on the good list per se, but
I don't
he's
have him-
certainly nowhere else.
Right. I don't have him on there either. And look, for Aguilar, he had the 2 catches, but they went for 51 yards, 26 and 25. They were big plays for Mac Jones, through the first half when they had the game pretty much well in hand. I didn't have him on the good list yet. I'm like, he's okay. He's playing. He's
He
playing
was
fine.
a little off in the first half.
I thought
I
he
agree
was-
with that. Too.
But he if he belongs anywhere, it's on the good list. As you said, a 307-yard game today.
Yeah.
No picks. He was 24 of 36. So yes,
that's a big thing too. It's just the no interceptions. I mean, there were a couple balls that were a little scary. Couple Jets got their hands on a couple of those passes, but just making it through this game, no turnovers. I think it's a good building block, and it's more just I don't want to say ceremonial, but kind of ceremonial of just first 300-yard game, big win. Offense gets his first home win.
Absolutely.
Doesn't make any mistakes. It's good. It seems like things are going in the right direction.
All right, who else we got?
I had just early on, I thought the return game gave him a little bit of a lift. The first kickoff return was 31 yards out to the 35 for Gunner, and then the first punt return got him out to the 47. So they had a couple of good field position. And here's the opening kick right here. Gunner takes it up out to the 30. I think it was a 31-yard return to the 35, and that gives you not a short field, but it gives you good position. And then he bounces back with this punt return here that sets him up near midfield. So I think that there were a couple of good little bursts from the return game. Is it maybe am I making too much of it? Yeah, but they've gotten nothing out of the return game. So I thought you got some life today from the special teams.
All right.
And like I said, there's nothing that's not on the good list today. I mean, really, they were dominant in every facet of the game.
How we feel about Kendrick Bourne's performance today?
I like them.
Really good.
I mean, I think they're all solid. They've been, they're coming on, and he continues big catch down the field. I wanted to see him take it down into the end zone. That would have been nice for him. But hey, he's starting to show up as a big play guy.
Yeah, big pass.
Threw it.
I mean, which is why I'm not as high on the Aguilar part. That I think I agree with Mike. Like half of that production was on a trick play that completely caught the Jets, as everything else today, unawares. But Bourne 4 for 68, plus he throws the touchdown
plus
pass.
the touchdown pass. I'll put him on the good list.
Really, really good. I mean, like I said, everybody does it.
Yeah.
You
You
get a car.
We're all on the good list.
Anyone else specifically, or any units, any one facet of the game you want specific mention for the good list, Paul?
You go ahead.
Aggressiveness on defense early on. I thought they really got after it. A couple of plays by Jawan Bentley early in the game in the run.
Just going to mention that. And Barmore. I was going to throw those two guys together as
Barmore
active, disruptive
in the
guys.
Pocket. I just like everything. Everything was really good. Everything was really good on defense today for the most part. There were a couple of
nice
hiccups here and there,
but
you're not going to go like the entire game like without any hiccups. But I thought they were really good in all facets today.
All right. I guess we can, we're going to be talking mostly good stuff for the post-game show here today. So let's get into the bad list, and it's going to be nitpicky.
I also had Nick Folk on for his 300th field goal.
Oh, I have them on there, and I had an asterisk right up until he kicked that last extra point.
That's okay.
So, but because he made the last extra point, he is on my good list here. Okay. And I had Harris, and I put Hunter Henry down there. I thought Hunter Henry had a good game. Kyle Duggar's interception was enough to get him up there on the good list. But when we get into the bad here too, there's some positional things that I think would land him on both. So Deuce, I'll let you lead us off on the bad list.
Yeah,
here.
so definitely nitpicky, but I had third down defense generally, and more in the middle of the game. But some of those sustained drives by the Jets, I thought Patriots got them into third down a few different times. And
in your defense, 7 for 13.
Yeah, and
not bad.
And they
Jets.
got better at the end too. I mean, I think at one point it was like 6 of 9, something like that. So I just think they had some opportunities to get off the field on some of those longer drives. 7 plays, 6 plays, 12 play, 45 on the missed field goal. That was a long one, and then 7 for 77 coming right out in the second half. So a little bit there. Mills had a pass interference on one of the third downs that I think they were getting off the field on that ended up setting up their first score. So I think there was just some general little bit of sloppiness there on the third down.
The only thing I would say in defense of the third down stuff, and I said this to Mike as we were walking down, I think it's when you're playing third down defense with a 31-7 lead or whatever it is, it's less about stopping the first down as it is stopping the touchdown. So you look and you see, well, how did they move the ball? Michael Carter, 8 catches, 67 yards. Ty Johnson, 6 catches, 65 yards. That's it. They had a couple. I think Corey Davis got one down the field, and Jay Crowder got one down the field. And you mentioned Jalen Mills. I don't think it was a great day for him. And I think Duggar struggled a little bit with. He gave up one of the third downs, followed that with a pass interference. He gets the pick later in the game, but these are really nitpicks. They won 54-13.
Yeah,
there's really, and if we're going to do this really honestly, there's really nothing on the bad list.
No, not really. I mean, issues in the secondary. For a game with very few penalties, there was the bad personal foul penalty, Brandon King.
Yeah, I did write that down just because I figured we're going to have a lot of dead air.
And Bill Belichick was
he not happy?
Unhappy. He was unhappy on the sideline.
Continuing with the nitpicks, I thought, okay, so they clearly came into the game saying we're going to get Jonnu Smith going, and he makes a 26-yard catch on a screen, 28-yard play early on in the game. He ends up with 2 catches for 52 yards. Well, they also had him run the ball once. And I'm like, okay, so you want to get Jonnu Smith involved. Great. Love it. Love it. Mean it. Do we have to throw it to him every single play for a quarter and a half? So there was 5 balls thrown his way early on, plus another one that was wiped out by a penalty. And, the production wasn't there. So, again, total nitpick. Everything they did worked. I was a little confused as to why they wouldn't just run Damian Harris when he's averaging 12 yards a carry, and we're trying to throw triple passes back to the quarterback and see if we can didn't need all that. I thought they were a little too fancy.
Well, I mean, it is National Tight End Day, so
it's probably factors in.
This is true.
Do you want to nitpick anymore? You want to get back to
those are the nitpicks. Like I said, if we're doing this honestly, there are nothing on the bad list.
I mean, Fred might have a bunch.
Well, I'm gonna repeat this with Fred coming in. I'm gonna repeat what I just said. If we're doing this honestly, there is really nothing on the bad list.
No.
Because now I will not be accused of not giving the Patriots their due.
I'm more interested. I mean, I want to get to the training room here, and I want to take a couple of calls, and then I want to start breaking down how all of our keys to the game came to fruition today, because I really think they did.
So let's pat ourselves in the back.
Yeah. Do you have a better idea for the next 2 hours? Let's do that instead.
No, there's not really a whole lot to analyze off of that mess.
Training room. You mentioned Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, a lot.
Oh yeah, actually, I did have a good amount of players.
Devin McCourty, Harvey Longy, Shaq Mason, Jonnu, as you mentioned, Carl Davis, wrist. I think he returned.
Carl Davis, out of that group, I think is the only one who came back.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing McCourty again.
And Jonnu Smith and Longy both were announced as out.
Mm-hmm.
So Jonnu Smith with a shoulder after getting all of those balls thrown in his direction early, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Mason had been on the injury report with an abdomen. That's what it was reported as. We kind of speculated maybe he was getting it out.
I might be reading too much in it. Freddie and I talked about this upstairs. Doesn't it make sense? You got a big lead, put him on the side. No need to push it any further.
Right.
Hopefully he didn't, aggravate whatever the problem is. But
he was just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like it was.
Maybe he just has some deep muscle tension, and thank goodness for Theragun, because you get in there with a physician-assisted percussive therapy device, get in there, and that can release those deep muscle tensions and aches, because it's a scientifically calibrated combination of depth, speed, and power.
Pro's pro.
250 professional sports teams trust Theragun. And it's got a 30-day money-back guarantee, because these NFL teams, they're counting every penny. And if it doesn't work for them, they're going to want their money back. No problem. Theragun will take care of you. Go to therabody.com to get your Theragun today. They're only $199. Therabody.com. Thank you once again to Theragun, who, of course, present the good, the bad, and the training room. Fred Kirsch, how are you, boss man?
Hey, Hardy.
You in a good mood?
Absolutely, always good. Good mood for homecoming game.
Well,
yeah.
To watch the way that unfolded, and as silly as the second half got, it was what went down in, as Paul said, the first 3 drives, with this, with the score, the stop, and the score, and all the things we were talking about in the pregame. Some version of that came to fruition and kind of presented itself. It's like, well, there you go. Now it's tough to sit here and say if you go up 14-0, you're going to have an issue with it. But everything that we wanted to see happen, whether it was Deuce with just, bring it all together, or Paul wanted to air it out a little bit, or for me, just handling these pressure situations, they had to, they had to get a 3rd down stop there on the 3 and out. They had to convert on 3rd downs. If you want to get real nitpicky, I think they found themselves in 3rd and 10 few times today. I hate that. And how do you not pick up at least 5 yards or first or second down to avoid 3rd and 10 situations, which they did have multiple times today. But other than that, they handled pressure situations, and I think we all came away happy just with the way the game opened up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this show we're going to get in the weeds and look granularly at everything. But if you look at it from, you know, the 30,000-foot view, the Jets are a bad team, and the Patriots beat up on a bad team. It wasn't two bad teams out there. It was only one bad team out there today.
I agree.
And that's what you wanted to see.
Right.
You didn't want to see two bad teams. You wanted to see one good team beating up on a bad team, and that's what the Patriots did, and I'm happy about that.
And there have been times through the first, up until today, and there's still people who are going to want to say that, all right, maybe it's not a great team and they're not headed to the Super Bowl, but there were times when I think we all entertained our darkest notions in those first 6 games and said, maybe this is just a bad football team. Today they weren't a bad football team.
I was the pessimist this week. I was the one that said the Patriots may not. I picked them not to cover the spread. I said they definitely win, but I said it was going to be closer than we would like, and I am so happy.
But you did say it was a lock.
I said it was a lock to win, but it wasn't. They weren't going to cover.
Well, Fred, I'm with you. I wasn't about to lay 7 points to anybody, not with the way this team has played through the first 6 games.
And I'm glad. Look, they came out. Let's just say the Patriots were a playoff team, right? And they were playing well. You would expect them to come out and beat the Jets handily. Well, that's what they did. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's now see if they can turn the page to the Chargers and win that game.
Yeah, for me, it was the first time I saw them play well all year. So now I know that they can play well.
Yeah.
So I'm completely taking off the table right now the opponent. I don't care about the opponent. I care about how the Patriots played. No turnovers, nothing really resembling a turnover.
Yep.
Not many penalties.
Yep.
Never really in trouble in the game. As Hardy said, when they had plays that they had to make, they made them. They did have some third downs early on that could have gone either way. There was a third down the Jets had, I thought, late in the first half, where you're like, okay, if the Jets can get this, they can probably run out the rest of this clock, and the Patriots won't have time. It's amazing when you get you have a lead and you decide to play offense in the last 2 minutes of the game that you can have success. But I digress.
I wanted to let you know one thing. Kendrick Bourne will be joining us. So I know we'd like to know that ahead of time in case the conversation is steered toward Kendrick Bourne. Probably. I'm just saying it is helpful for all of us to know this.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So once we start, if we're talking about Kendrick Bourne and you don't know he's on hold, just so you know that.
Right.
Better to have that knowledge. You mentioned that there wasn't nothing resembling a turnover. One of the handle the pressure plays I think the Patriots handled today was there was a near interception that Mack threw. Yep. And on the very next play, it was a pass to Jonnu Smith where instead of succumbing to the pressure and it's like, let's just hand it off here and let's calm back down. Nope, next play, big pass to Jonnu Smith. Good. That's handling the pressure. You're going to throw near picks. That's going to happen.
You're going to throw picks.
But Mack didn't throw any today, and on that one occasion when he almost threw one, they handled it well by completing a pass on the very next play. Everything that I asked for, they went out there and did.
Yeah. I think, and Fred touched on it a little bit, it just feels more like a settling win to me where, okay, they're able to go out there and play a good game and not beat themselves and, not get in their own way, and we've checked that box off now. And now it's a question of, all right, well, can we produce this kind of effort against a really good team? A team that, when it's a back-and-forth game and it's going to come down to clutch. You didn't need any real clutch play stops. I mean, I certainly agree with what you're saying with the pressure early on. And, the red zone, I would qualify that in there too. But at some point, this defense and offense are going to have to, step up with the game on the line and make a play. And I think that still is some of the things that have been the bugaboo through these early parts of the season. And nothing today was going to solve that, but at least gives you a feeling of, okay, this is a good team. When they play right, they should have some confidence now. They should really, believe more in themselves, I think, after this and say, okay, we are making progress. We can beat good teams. Now we got to go on the road for 2 weeks against 2 pretty good teams and show it up against those other opponents.
I want to wait and see if whoever is calling in here. Nope. Okay, I was thought that may have been Kendrick. Instead, we'll go to Pat Nagwam here.
I think Kendrick's at the podium right now.
Oh, okay, so we'll have time. Did Pat in Agawam's laryngitis clear up during the game? if it's not cleared up, I don't know how long I can listen to this because it was terrifying in the pregame. Pat?
Yeah, he's
All
just
this.
not.
Didn't I, guys? On Thursday, I said that I had a feeling that this team was just going to come out and blow this team out.
Nope.
Okay, and
he was right.
Oh, all right.
I was right.
Yeah.
Okay. Pat, rest your voice, please. Love you, buddy. Don't talk. You're all done. We're going to go.
Too much screaming.
Keep drinking that cough syrup.
We're going to go to Zach in Pennsylvania. Joining us now on the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by Cyber Reason. Hello, Zach.
Wilson?
Hey, guys. A couple things I wanted to say here. First things first, probably about time to trade N'Keal Harry. I figure his stock has pretty much peaked after the only memorable moment he's had as a Patriot with that, garbage time Randy Moss impression. But also, the other thing I wanted to bring up, kind of a small thing, Mack on the sack was still turned around on a play-action pass. It was one of the faster sacks you'll see. That happened earlier in the season as well, and I'm just wondering, I don't ever really remember seeing that happen to Brady where he's turned around on a play action and getting sacked. Is that something that Mack can prevent pre-snap? Should he be seeing something differently to maybe change the play or change the protection? I just don't remember Brady ever getting sacked while his back was still turned.
It's a good question.
That's a
Zach.
good question. I don't know the answer.
I don't
to
know
that.
the answer
That's
to it either. My guess is it is something that you should recognize pre-snap, but I do not know that. I can't say that with any kind
It looked
of
like
certainty.
on that sack, it looked like he was going to roll a little or pitch it. He was getting ready to pitch it or something.
I kind of agree with you, Freddie.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that was even a run
Something
play.
weird going on.
Yeah.
They emptied the satchel today. I don't know why, but they decided that every trick play they've ever even imagined they used today to get 54 points. I think they could have run Damian Harris off tackle and gotten 54 points for the whole day. But that was only the only sack, right?
Yeah, just one.
And I didn't think there was really
three
a lot
quarterback hits. I think.
I didn't think there was really a lot of pressure around him.
Yeah,
either.
and I have to say that on the first game against the Jets, Belichick indicated after the game that he was impressed with some of the things that Saleh threw at them defensively. Like he showed some things, and he gave the Patriots some trouble and hit Mack a lot. And I was worried going into this game that, okay, the way the Patriots offense has been kind of sputtering, we might see some, like it wouldn't be exactly the same, but Saleh would come up with something else because he is a good defensive coach. And no, the offensive line came out. They protected. They run block beautifully, I thought. The screens were working, like we were laughing because, everyone on the blog complains about the screens.
Yeah,
today they love the screens
there's a screen
because it was working.
There's a screen at the 15-yard line today, a little swing pass out to Bolden, and, he walks in untouched. There's no one there. And Freddie's like, oh, everybody's all over Josh McDaniels. He's got the right touch on the play calls. I'm like,
it's the same calls.
Like 2 weeks ago, they would have called this for -1, and everybody said, you can't run a screen in the red zone.
Right.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
This is why I say the play call so many times is so overrated. You just have to execute.
Right.
Let us go to our guest here, and just another moment here or two. It will be Kendrick Bourne here joining us on the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by Cyber Reason. 54-13, the final here today at Gillette Stadium, where when Zach Wilson left the game, that changed the dynamic of the game entirely, just in terms of what you were here to see. Because at that point in the game, you're kind of waiting to see if he was going to be able to do something, and if he was going to be able to show you something, but never got the chance. Instead, it was the Patriots show all day long. Kendrick Bourne joining us now. Congratulations, Kendrick. Great game today.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Really, really awesome out there today.
Hey, Kendrick, just got to ask you, how does the arm feel? And was this the first time you've thrown a touchdown in your football career?
Yeah. First touchdown of my career throwing. It was crazy feeling. My arm feels solid, though. I kind of hurt my shoulder, though, a little bit. Not when I played with something else. But they didn't give me no more throwing plays, But just an awesome play, man. Great execution by the guys. O-line holding up, Nelly faking his guy blocking, and then, shedding and giving me a nice, easy throw, man. So just a crazy, great play to start the game.
So let me ask you, Kendrick, have you ever really thrown a pass in a game before?
Yeah, so Josh kind of seen me through the week, throw something on the side, And I honestly do kind of practice throwing like when I'm throwing with my boys, my receivers, I try to throw it like a spiral. I try to throw good to my guys, get us going. So he kind of caught me one time and was just like, can you really throw? I was like, bro, you just started throw, bro. And so he ended up drawing up something for me, man, because we've been doing those sweeps with me, doing reverses and stuff. So the threat has been high with me on those. So it was just a nice setup play by Josh, man. Josh drawing it up and doing a great job.
I mean, you had to have been totally amped up after that play, but then you went on and you had 4 catches on the day on 4 targets. So, I mean, was it like trying to balance the elation of that play and also maintaining some calm so you could reel in the catches that were thrown your way?
Yeah. No doubt, man. It's about, just sticking in the game the whole time. That's what I try to tell all my guys. Let's be in the game, Let's not get distracted by the crowd, get distracted by anything. I try to pride myself in watching the defense, just feeling the whole game out, man, and being into the game. I feel like that's where it takes my emotions, with the game. So when I'm out there, it's like I've already been paying attention, knowing what's going on, knowing the situations, and just finding myself in the right spots, man. So shout out to the team, man. We all just played our parts as individuals, and it showed 100% today.
It really did. Devin, there was a report, Kendrick, I'm sorry. There was a report before the game that there was a players meeting this week, and what was it like getting ready for this game this week in the locker room?
It was just one of those, don't underestimate these guys, man. Like treat them like we ain't played them before. Don't come in here because we won the first time by a good amount of points. Just come in here relaxing. We came in with our foot on the gas, man, and that's what showed. Like you could tell people through the week were prepared, and I hated how I played against them last time, dude, personally, and I feel like I got my redemption, dude. Just nothing crazy, but I just, plays that I want back from the last game, and I came into this game, wanting to do better, and hopefully everybody thought like that, and it definitely seemed like people thought like that. So it's just awesome how we prepared, man.
It's got to be a great feeling to know that you played. You couldn't have done any better. It was a fantastic effort out there today and a great performance. Great result, Kendrick. Thanks so much for the time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. There he goes, Kendrick Bourne. Do you think maybe he was in the touchdown on the one that was marked at the 1? I didn't think so in real time.
No.
I just watched it again. It's so much closer than I thought it was.
Funny, I'm exactly the opposite. Real time, I thought it was a touchdown, and I saw it again, and I was like, nah, that's a touchdown. And then Freddie said, no, his knee's down. And I watched it like on the replay again. And Freddie said, his knee is definitely down. He was right. Freddie's got it.
Jeez, our guys are killing it. It's like as soon as we bring something up, they got it right up.
Yeah,
I'm amazed at how well they do.
Now watch this. Watch this.
Yeah.
See, it was down.
Yeah, but the way they call touchdowns in the NFL right now, you tell me if you don't freeze that at the moment the knee is down right here, like you tell me the point of that ball is not breaking the plane?
I'm telling you it wasn't.
Okay, I didn't know you were down on the goal line.
I'm telling you it wasn't. He's down right there. He's
actually you can't tell from that angle.
The knee's down at the 2 and the ball's at the 1. The knee is down right now.
Yeah, he's down a good yard short.
Okay, and where is the ball in relation to the
1
goal
yard
line?
line?
Not even close.
You can't tell from this angle.
The ball's at the 1 yard line.
Now his arm is not 9
now run
it. When he
now run it, and you can see him fall into
forward,
the
it just gets over.
I'll say it.
You have a problem with the NFL's rules regarding
touchdowns.
It's his thing.
It is his thing.
I'll point out 9 more times that you can't tell anything from that angle.
Knee down,
and the ball isn't even stretched out yet.
He's not even at the 1.
It's
I
really
don't know
not
that
close.
his knee
And
is
Freddie,
down.
I got to give Fred credit because he got it live.
I think it's too blurry. I think there may be a hand underneath this knee. I don't know that knee's down.
He's still not in the end zone.
Now it's down,
and he's still not in.
All right, you know what? I'm going to put this to bed.
There's a second shooter in the bushes over there.
I'll put it to bed once and for all.
Great job, guys.
No,
that's
great
awesome.
job getting that.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Because
nothing like enhancing a 54-13 argument for us. I didn't think it was possible for us to get into an argument today.
I want to thank you too because touchdown. That's obviously a touchdown.
Zoom in.
There you go.
Great.
Well,
dig in, Hardy. Dig in.
Hey, am I gonna mock that?
No.
Dig in.
No.
Be stubborn. I mean, who am I?
I think it was a touchdown. Get Kendrick back on the phone, please. I want to tell him he got robbed. He should file a grievance. CJ in Kansas City here on the Patriots Postgame Show presented by Cyber Reason. What's up, CJ?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Oh, big win. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. But, I mean, this is the first big win of the season. I know it was against the Jets, but I don't care. I mean, we couldn't do it the first time. We put up 54 points this time. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Coming off the loss last week, it was Downsville, and now I'm ready to go again. I'm I'm strapped in. I'm ready for this roller coaster ride for the season.
Well, I hope it is going to be a bit more up than down at this point going forward. Right now, as you sit one game below 500, we're sitting here talking about this team as they still have a season, and they do. I mean, another win or two, if you can, win 2 out of the next 3, something crazy like that, all of a sudden, wait a second, we still got a season here. And after a game like today, you see something. I know it's the Jets. I know Zach Wilson went out. But I still revert back to something that Paul's brought up, and I think it bears mentioning oftentimes. That's still a team that didn't want to be embarrassed here today. That was not a team that just came in here to take their licks and then go home. The Jets did not want to get blown out by 41 points here today. So believe you me, they were trying out there, and the Patriots, put on a clinic against a team that was, suffering due to either a lack of talent or injury, or whatever the case may be. All you can ask of a team in that situation is to go out there and beat up on that team, and that's what the Patriots did. And if they did something that good teams do, what more can they do?
Right. And going into this game, we didn't know. We didn't know if they were, if they even had a good team performance in them, really.
I keep saying I don't really care about the other team because the Patriots didn't play well in all 6 games. Today, the Patriots played well. I'm going to continue to not really care about the other team. I can watch the game and I can determine, did the Patriots turn the ball over today? No. Did the Patriots get a punt block today? No. Did the Patriots do all the stupid penalties that they've been doing? Did they have too many men on the field penalties? No. The Patriots played much better today, regardless of opponent. Now, in retrospect, we might look ahead the next 5 weeks and say, looking back at that game, that was more about the Jets' ineptitude than anything you did. But today, the Patriots played very well, regardless of opponent. I don't think they played very well against Dallas and Tampa, even though these were really close games against good teams. Today, they played very well, and the score reflected that.
By the way, a big thank you to our partner, Microsoft Windows 11, the official operating system of the NFL and the New England Patriots. The all-new Windows 11, here to bring you closer to what you love, like the Patriots Postgame Show. Learn all about the awesome new features of Windows 11 at windows.com. Thank you for bringing us Kendrick Bourne here a few minutes ago with his touchdown pass today and his catches and,
I just think it's
and a
hilarious.
touchdown reception, even though the refs got it wrong.
They had nothing. They had no inkling, that he could throw the ball, and he's just
right.
He's flinging it
Screw
around
around
in practice. Now, I think he's exaggerating a little bit, but just to play along with it, he's throwing the ball around in practice, and Josh McDaniels says, "Hey, you throw the ball pretty good." Like, is there an NFL skill position player that doesn't throw a spiral?
Right.
Like, could it be
It's
that?
funny.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's have you throw the ball. Like,
I know. I was thinking back in training
clearly
camp.
it was
when
something about the Jets that they set that up on the first drive.
But like when me and Scal in training camp would go pump the crowd up, like I should have picked the ball up. Maybe I could have gotten it. Maybe Josh would make a play for me.
It's got a very Eddie and the Cruisers feel to it. Tom Berenger sheepishly walking over with his book of poetry. Next thing you know, he wrote on the dark side. It's like these things just kind of happen.
I don't even know what he's talking about half the time.
Music.
You were with me on
Music.
that one. Needs to say Sora. All right, let's go to George in Illinois here on the Patriots Postgame Show. What's up there, George?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey George.
I know you guys briefly touched on this while I was on hold, and I apologize. I don't know how deep the conversation got on this, but why so many trick plays? We ran like 7 today against the Jets. Trick plays, double passes, what have you.
I think they wanted to score as many points as they possibly could today. I don't really know the answer to that, but I don't think it's an accident that they ended up at 54 today.
Well, I think
they wanted to do that.
I mean, with the Jets' MO, it's you get up early on them and it's over. And I think they, like Paul said, they want to do whatever they had to do to get points.
They didn't hesitate. They went right to it.
Yeah, I do think it's odd because I think they were doing whatever they wanted to do conventionally. And they decided to. I agree. They just, for whatever reason, they decided to empty the bag today.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I think, like I said, they could have run Damian Harris off tackle 30 times and scored 54 points.
Yeah, it seemed like in the past they would use those plays in specific moments where maybe things weren't working. I always think back to Baltimore in the playoffs with the double pass with Edelman and Amendola. But, now over the last year or so, it seems like they've just kind of become part of the conventional offense.
They go to them early on, and before I would think it's something, it's almost like a hockey fight, something to like kind of wake everyone up. Sometimes you'll see it as a way to spark the offense, but now it's almost
like crowd.
It's a spark plug. Let's let's move the ball here a little bit back and forth, even if it's laterally behind the line of scrimmage, and then go downfield. Just something to kind of get that momentum.
I like that. It's a perfect hockey, because in the past, that's how I looked at hockey. Like, man, we got nothing going. Hey, go beat up one of their guys. Like, that's what you usually do when you're floundering. Nothing's really going right. You got to get the emotions stuck. But you're right. Now it's like the game starts, it's 0-0, and the second shift of the game, the coach is like, hey, go beat a guy up. Like they're going right to it right off the bat. So
or it could be.
They got a few of them.
The team was down at Mohegan Sun last night and watched Run DMC playing in the Wolf Lounge. They performed It's Tricky, and they said that gives me an idea.
Yeah,
Just a bunch of.
I mean, there's a risk to running those plays too, because if they don't work,
yeah,
then,
And I think the other one that they ran where it was like,
well, most of them didn't work.
One, I know. I'm talking. What was the one that was like Mac, and then they were trying to go back to Mac again, and then he almost got killed. And I was like,
Brandon Bolden almost killed Mac Jones by throwing a rainbow over to him, but. The first one worked perfectly. No one covered Aguilar, and they got an easy touchdown. But
that is funny though.
They did try like 3 or 4 different. I think 7 might be a little.
Yeah, I think it was. I think 3 sounds right to me.
The notion that Josh McDaniels just walking around, it's like, hey, Kyle Van Noy, you just punted one downfield. Let me ask you something.
Not again, Josh.
Is it really that random and that loose?
Hey, you. I know. Random. Oh, I'm going to end up in one of Josh's trick plays again.
Hey, JJ Terry, I like the way you tackled that candy bar. Let's try you at linebacker.
Like, what are we doing?
Alan, who is in Texas on the Patriots postgame show. Hi, Alan.
Hey, guys. What a great win today. First of all, I want to say, listening to Kendrick Bourne, it just kind of takes the game to what it is. It's a game, and he sounded like a young kid that's so excited that he got to throw that ball, and he's saying that Josh saw him, at practice and said, hey, man, can you actually throw a ball? So it takes this game to what it is. It's a game. Mm-hmm. But my question is, and I'll take this off the air, what made the offensive line look so good today? Thank you all.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's.
I have to say, partly it was the Jets.
But I think this is the group that all things you've looked at through the first few weeks, that Teddy Case played pretty well, and Onwenu. I mean, we've been talking about moving Onwenu out, and there hadn't been any of that yet. So, I mean, I think
they ran the ball.
This is probably the group.
Yeah, and they did.
You're getting 12 yards a carry. You can't get after the passer the way they did in the game in the Meadowlands when they shut down the run.
Right.
Like both ways you get credit for it as the offensive line, because if you're gonna run the ball to the way that Harris was running it, it has to have something to do with the offensive line. I agree with Mike. I think Karras is better than the guys that were replacing Trent Brown, and I think you now have your best 5 linemen that are available on the field. So I think you're in better shape.
And I was kind of hoping that maybe Bourne would elaborate a little bit, because before the game, Albert Breer had a report that they had one of those players meetings and all that stuff, and just wondering, if he was going to reveal anything about that, but in true Patriot fashion, he didn't. But I just wonder, what was going on? I think the Patriots sense that we can't stand for this.
Yeah.
We have to get better.
And he pointed to saying, don't take the Jets lightly. Is it that, or is it, hey, we got to turn this around regardless of who.
And I think that's probably why Bill wanted to. They were throwing bombs in the fourth quarter. They threw bombs with Brian Hoyer. Yeah. I think that's why. I think he wanted to continue to show them this is how good you can be. Mm-hmm. This is how good you can be.
You put 54 up, yeah.
Yep. We're going to step aside, and we want to thank Cyber Reason. The Patriots postgame show brought to you by Cyber Reason. Great defenders don't just play on the field. They're also protecting your company and data. Cyber Reason on a mission to end ransomware and keep your business undefeated against cyber attacks. Learn more at cyberreason.com/ransom.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
TouchView Interactive is here to support your hybrid learning, distance learning, and video conferencing needs with easy-to-use tools that allow end users to collaborate, interact, and present seamlessly. TouchView Interactive offers a comprehensive line of accessories and software to support your audio-visual needs. Outfit your classrooms and presentation spaces with the future of interactive display technology. Visit touchview.com for more info. Offered by the Oakers Company, celebrating 100 years of service and support.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
You can't have that, and I know that's unfair. Don't at me. I know you're going to at me.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right. What can I say?
Those new glasses, Hardy?
I do see better with them.
Just waits till hour 2 of the post-game show to
They
pop
won't-
them on.
Well, as it gets later in the day.
real good.
Is that Bill Shakespeare over there? 855-PATS-500. That is the Ace Ticket hotline here. Join us.
You look like Larry Sanders' father.
Okay. I'm not gonna wear him for long. I just need it.
What's his name? Larry?
I never saw Larry Sanders actually.
No. The other one. Larry David's.
Larry
father.
David's father.
Yeah.
All right. Is everybody done? We're good? Let us continue with their phone calls here. We'll go to Adam in Illinois on the Patriots postgame show presented by Cyber Reason. Hello, Adam. Adam.
It's another Hardy call. All right.
Good job, Hardy.
I'm going to leave him up. I think he's still there.
No,
Okay, he's not.
Come on. This is radio.
He's not there.
You
Oh.
were a pro earlier. Now you're kind of.
Yes, the segue into the theragun read was
very good.
Was at a level that Fred and I could not even possibly even fathom.
Did you appreciate
Deuce
that?
gives it the chef's
How did
kiss.
we get there from here? I don't know. He did it. He's a master.
I did it. How about this email here from Arthur? It says, obviously, this is not a good Jets team, and Zach Wilson goes down relatively early, but I think there's a lot of good to take away from this game.
Really now?
For starters,
54-13. Yeah.
the big plays and starting to come in Mac Jones throwing the ball downfield a lot more. That's what you wanted, Paul, on early downs.
I didn't really see that though until it was 54-0.
All right, two things that worry me: injuries and trick plays. For example, run the damn ball on 3rd and 1 instead of some cute BS trick play. Game's not over. They just scored. Go Pats. Okay.
I know, but there was one. It was 3rd and 1, and
that was the double back pass that almost got Matt killed.
Okay, you let me finish.
That's what he's talking about.
But I know, but there was another play where it was 3rd and 1. Mac rolled out and hit, I think, Myers for the first, and people on the blog were like, "Why do you have to run a trick play?" It's not a trick play. You know, when
you sure they're not talking about the double pass?
That might have been. But on
that was a 3rd and 1.
On the blog, it was immediately after the play, so I know what play they were talking about.
I'm with you then, because that's dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing trick about a routine pitch and catch on 3rd and 1.
Right.
I 100% with you. I'm with you now, Pop.
Yeah, but I think people had been conditioned. They had seen all these trick plays, and they thought
the one that they did on the throwback to from Bolden. That's the play you're talking about right there. That's not a trick. That's as routine as you can get.
Exactly.
Every high school team runs that
on
play.
it, huh?
Yeah, the highlights. The post-game highlights have been outstanding all season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really good. Right on it as soon as we're talking about it. That's okay. Now I'm seeing it there. When it comes to the trick play stuff, though, if you're incorporating them every game and you're doing it multiple times a game, at what point do they stop being trick plays? And are they just plays?
And at what point do they stop working because the other team's ready?
Today.
Right.
The first one worked, but the rest of them didn't.
But isn't that like the hallmark of a trick play? If it doesn't work, you throw your hands up and you shout like you'd like. If you miss a completion on, 2nd and 6, and now you're same yardage on 3rd down, you're like, Okay, well, that one didn't go your way. If you try that same in the same situation and it's a trick play, our reaction is like it's the end of the world. It's like, what are you doing there? Why are you doing that? That's just a play that didn't work.
Yeah.
I think we have to readjust our expectations because I think we're going to continue to see it.
But
we're going to see it multiple times
on
a
a
game.
day like today, when you're just lining up and Damian Harris is running and getting, 12, 15, 18 yards, and it's 3rd and 1, and you're running a double back pass, and Mac Jones has to throw it away because he almost got killed.
Right.
It's frustrating. Now, it didn't matter today because they just got it on the next play, and that's that's the advantage of playing the Jets.
The problem is when the trick play doesn't work, you look foolish as opposed to just incompetent or bad execution.
And I think
that's the risk.
Yeah, and I think now people see it as you can't move the ball conventionally, so you got to come up with razzle dazzle to get it. I think that that's why it gets a real negative connotation. When you just break it out in a random instance and it works, everyone loves it. But
I think they're rethinking things down the hall and upstairs. It's not necessarily about a trick anymore. Maybe it's just unorthodox plays. We may have to come up with new terminology.
I like that.
All right. Feel free to bounce that around this week on Patriots Unfiltered. Unless you guys want to yell at each other some more about, coaching or point spreads or money line. Good grief. It's unbelievable.
You guys have an
You
argument
guys?
about money?
Opened a show with it one day this week. I'm like, wow.
Who, me?
He's talking to you.
I missed it. I was trying to read Robert Sala's transcript to see if he had anything interesting to say. And he doesn't.
We'll get to it later. TJ in New Jersey. Hello, TJ.
Hey, I think it's a good transition, actually. I wanted to add 2 people to the good list. First, J.J. Taylor, 2 touchdowns paid 100 to 1, so that was a really nice,
good for you,
lucky thing at the end of the game there. And
Your
the second
gambling
person to add to
aside.
the good list is Fred. Fred guaranteed the win today. He's the only one of the crew, although he did hesitate a little bit at the spread. But he got that right. He does have a feel for the league.
You
and
have
secondly, he
some
defended
kind of
Belichick.
It's a Godfather.
spell
Personnel
over
choices,
everything.
And Brandon Bolden played great today. I think will be known as the Brandon Bolden game in my
So
memory.
Fred guaranteed a win, but said they woun't cover. I said that they would win 27-9, and somehow was reluctant to say that they were guaranteed to win.
Did Fred get the hook? Did you want the hook? Did you like the hook?
I said if the Jets win this game, I will wear a Jets rally towel over my head for the post-game show.
But yet wasn't willing to say that they would win by more than 6.
And a man in my position can't afford to be made to look ridiculous.
Now you get the hell out of here. Did you have a Jets rally towel
No, we're
at the
just
ready?
going to find a green towel and put a Jets sticker on it.
I feel lightheaded.
Oh, Spee in Fresno. What's up, Spee? Good to hear from you. Welcome into the post-game show presented by Cyber Reason. What's up, buddy?
Paul Perillo choosing the New Jersey Giants today, and he's looking like he's going to pull it off.
Yeah,
Done.
that was a pick.
League.
Yeah. That was a good one. You picked the Giants.
You picked
today.
the Giants?
Oh, they won.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you forget who you picked?
Very, very
Well, I
impressive.
didn't, was that one of our games?
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
No, it must have been on the
week.
show.
No.
The big show.
Right.
The big show.
Okay.
Not on
okay,
this show,
okay.
on the big show, Paul.
On the big show, you're
Yeah.
right. Freddie. The third ranked sports podcast.
I love spanking the Jets. Love spanking the Jets. It's a good day. to
Yeah.
Spank the Jets.
It's always good to beat the Jets.
I got a free agent question for you guys. So right now, I guess in my estimation, I like Judon. I pretty much feel like Kendrick Bourne has been consistently good. I think started serving his role, probably more or less deserving his pay. And I think Hunter Henry maybe kind of on the come for doing that too. So I mean, I'd say that's 3 that you got. And does that meet your standard for what you'd hope from this free agent class, or what would?
Well, then beside that, there's 2 more, right? There's Smith, there's Mills.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're not. They're not
in
meeting,
terms of
they're not meeting
free
standards.
agents.
Yeah, in
Gotcha,
terms
there's
of
a
free
million
agents.
more.
What?
There's a million more. They signed like 13 guys.
Well, the big
Right,
money
and I'm
guys.
just
right?
saying, like,
Gotcha, Anderson, Aguilar.
Well, Aguilar, yeah. Aguilar 226.
Mills.
Godchaw 216.
So is that a lot of misses? That's a lot of misses, is what I'm saying.
What
It's
is
like
the
only 3 of them
216?
really seem to be
2 years,
messing up to
16
what you
mil.
hope.
Oh yeah, I mean those are big money signings.
It's shorthand speak. You got to
216.
He says 216. That's what it means.
It's a good question.
Aguilar only signed a 2-year contract.
Yeah, 226.
Oh, 226.
2 years, 26 mil.
Who's the 16?
That's Godchaw. 2 year, 26 million.
$9 million first year for Godchaw. That's not money well spent.
No, he hasn't worked out.
Yeah. That's the broader point. Is that like only 3 of them at this point, in my view, are kind of tracking as hit. I mean, so what? How many of them would have to be hits in order to feel kind of satisfied with the spending spree?
Well, when you spend that much money on a guy, every one of them should be.
I'm already satisfied with it because they're all playing, and last year they replaced players that they're better than. Like, I'm not telling you that they're all worth their money because I don't think any of them have lived up to the money, with the exception of Judon. But I don't really care because money is not really all that important to me. They all replaced guys like Aguilar and Bourne are better than what they were here last year, even though I don't think they're number one receivers. Henry and Smith are better than the tight ends that were here last year.
Sure.
Like, so that's fine. They've lived up to it for me because they needed NFL players. They didn't have enough last year.
Yeah, I think, Jonnu Smith he got 4 years, $50 million, and I think today it showed you that they feel like they need more out of him, or at least that they're willing to really kind of push the issue a little bit to try to extract it from him. So for me, I think that explains a little bit.
Right.
But I think that the questions on Mills and Aguilar happened when they signed them. I think that they were, Mills clearly how he fits in on this defense, but not exactly what they needed. And I think that's what you're kind of paying for now. And with Aguilar, I think we just have to, continue to kind of wait and see, and he's going to kind of pick his spots. I'm losing faith that he's going to be, a consistent threat that can produce. It just seems like it's up and down with him, and he gets a couple catches, but it's never, where Bourne is like making these impact plays, and he's right in the middle of it. And Aguilar, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to close the book on any of those guys, but I mean, and I'd also throw in like, Andrews, 4 years, $19 million. Like, he's been up and down, but I think that that's a good signing. And, Karras, bringing him back, that looks like a pretty good move too now. So I think there are other elements to it, but I didn't expect all these free agents to hit out of the park.
Kyle Van Noy, you've gotten virtually nothing out
2 years, $13.2 million.
Thanks, Speed. Appreciate the call, buddy. Thank you. From Scott in Apperley Bridge, UK. Scott. To add to the good list, to add to your no doubt long list, he says Jakob Johnson.
Hey.
Has taken some heat in recent weeks, but was a bull in a china shop this evening.
That's actually not a good thing.
Like when?
Couple catches.
He said he'd like to see more runs behind him going forward. Juwan Williams. He said
Juwan Williams showed up today. That's
especially on third down.
Two of those nice hits.
Sneaky good one. I thought they were both drops before he got there, but his physicality was noticeable today.
Did you guys have Barmore on the good list?
We did. Well, we talked about him. I brought him up.
Yeah,
but he's disruptive. He brings energy.
And he's playing a lot of different positions.
Yeah, they're moving him all over. It's fun watching him.
It's like I said. It's like they're having him watch Seymour film. He's all over the place.
Before we hear from head coach Bill Belichick, let's check in with Tim in Florida. Tim, you're on the Patriots Postgame Show presented by Cyber Reason. Hello.
Hey, guys. Long-time listener, never called in.
Thank
and
you.
Listened to Patriots Unfiltered and PFW in Progress since, 2000.
Wow. Good stuff.
Anyway,
well, thanks for calling finally. What's up?
We have a defensive issue, in my opinion. We can't tackle for crap.
Tackling was a little bit of an issue today. That's a sneaky bad.
Yeah.
There were a couple of backs that leaked out into the flat on third down, and they had two guys around him, and they were able to get down the sideline.
Tiptoed down the sideline and picked up 6 extra yards after not breaking.
And they had him hemmed in on the sideline with two guys, and were able to do it.
And not breaking tackles, just avoiding
tackles.
Yep.
Yeah, we should have been off the field twice in the first
Jalen
two
Mills missed
drives.
Elijah Moore early in the game and ended up being like a 15-yard play. It should have been like a 5-yard play. Yeah, I mean, again, nitpicking because there's nothing that really belongs on the bad list today.
All right.
But I agree with you. I thought that you bring it up. The tackling was a little iffy.
And Jalen Mills, I think we should get rid of him.
Oh, wow.
Well,
that took a turn. That was aggressive.
Yeah, I got to say, and thanks
Suddenly Megan's back on the show.
Thanks for the call.
Fire
Tim.
everyone.
So it was a rough game. We're gonna nitpick, but if you want to talk about somebody who had a time of it out there tonight, yeah, Jalen Mills.
Well, if you take out all the nitpicks and all those things were corrected, it would have been 117 to nothing.
Right.
That would have been the score.
Right. That's why I said I don't think anything really belongs on the bad list today.
Not really. Not really. I don't know how Bill Belichick is going to feel about it. I'm sure he'll be asked a couple of questions, but let's listen to all the questions and all the answers. Here is the head coach.
All right, well, I thought our guys did a real good job today. Players were ready to go and had a good week and came out and got off to a good start, played from ahead. Had a lot of production offensively and made some big plays on defense, a couple turnovers, stops, and the kicking game was was solid too. Thought we covered well and returned well in the opportunities that we had. So the punt return and kickoff return, both those got us started and had good balance offensively and make big plays in the passing game and it's just some good solid plays and then had 150 yards rushing, so it's always a good thing. But proud of the way the team's bounced back here and hopefully we can string another good set of days together and head out to LA.
Bill, David Andrews was in here earlier talking about wanting to get a fast start and having you guys build fast starts. I'm curious, 4 plays into the game, you had that pass from Kendrick Bourne to Nelson Aguilar for the touchdown. Was that play in there that it just happened to present itself at the time within the first series, or was it in there to try to ignite a fast start?
No, I think it was just kind of the right situation. I mean, Josh does a great job of mixing plays in to take advantage of the defense's over-aggressiveness, whether it's pursuit or run force or whatever it happens to be. And it was a great call by Josh and obviously very well executed by everybody. But, Nelly, just kind of the right timing of getting the defender to come up and then get behind him. Obviously, KB made a great throw with that was a quarterback pass. So it was a very well executed play. That's always the key. I mean, timing and play calling are great, but it always comes down to execution. And those guys really executed it well.
Bill, how much could a confidence builder can a game be like this for you guys? You guys post that many points and going forward now, heading out to the West Coast.
I don't think we lack confidence.
What have you seen from Brandon Bolden that's allowed him to carve out this type of role, especially since James White went down?
Yeah, well, Brandon's somebody that's always been ready, always done well for us. It's been an outstanding special teams player, just hasn't really had a lot of opportunity. And James has been one of our most dependable and durable players. Of course, Brandon didn't play last year when James, missed a little bit of time, but we're very fortunate to have Brandon be able to step in and do the things that he does, maintain his role in the kicking game, and give us some quality plays offensively, especially on third down. So, he's good with the ball in his hands, and he's very smart. Handles a lot of assignments, which third down, blitz pickup, and those type of things are, they're not easy. He does a good job of that, and as I said, gives us a lot of solid plays in the kicking game.
Steve Sanchez in the front.
How you doing, Bill?
Good, Steve.
The first week, you allowed 187 yards to the Jets. Today was 62 yards. Was that a big emphasis prior to facing the Jets this week?
The run game? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought the Jets really did a good job on us in the first game. They had some schemes that were tough. Put us in some tough spots. It was well designed. They blocked us well, and they have good backs. Carter and Ty, those guys, they're hard to tackle. They get some yards on their own. They read the plays well and have good patience there. But I thought up front we tried to not let them be able to get those 6-7 yard gains and just hand the ball off kind of when they wanted to, like they did in the first game. So we got them in some longer yardage situations. Bentley and our defensive line Had some stops for little or no gain that created some second and longs, or when they ran on second down, it created some third downs, and we were able to convert on some of those. So, but yeah, I thought our run defense has improved here in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But I mean, it's always a challenge anytime you see a great back like these guys or Eckler or whoever. It's always Elliott, whoever it happens to be. I mean, they're one play away from a 70-yard touchdown. So, we'll just keep working on it. But it's good to be competitive. And of course, the score kind of took them out of the running game. Most of the second half. So, I don't know if we really got the full test of what. I'm sure they would have wanted to run it more than they had the opportunity to, but at least we were ready for it early, and it helped us get ahead.
Bill, how did you see Kyle Duggar and Adrian Phillips take over when Devin goes down and making those checks pre-snap, and then also one of them being back there alone when you're in single high, how they did throughout the rest of the game?
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate. We have 3 really good safeties, and Devin's certainly quarterbacked the secondary for a long time back there, and but we've those guys practice and they rotate through there, and so Kyle and AP are both very good players in their own right, and both smart players, and so they handle things. Miles also stepped back in there and played some safety as well in a couple of our different defensive groups. So yeah, I thought defensively it was not a perfect effort, but a solid effort. And once we kind of, say in the fourth quarter, got the pass rush going a little bit, that helped us. But we tackled well, turned the ball over, had some turnover opportunities, took advantage of them. JC made a great catch on the sideline. Kyle made a great catch on a low ball there. I mean, both of those are big time plays, and then we punched the ball out there at the end. So. Just secondary working together. We played Justin, played Juwan. Had some different combinations in there, but those guys really worked well together and held up well.
Brian?
Taking you back to Kendrick's pass again, when a guy is trying something in a game for the first time like that, what's it like for you on the sideline? Is that kind of a hold your breath type of moment?
Well, it is if it hasn't gone well in practice. But usually when it goes well in practice, you gain confidence in it, they gain confidence in it, and you call it. When you don't do it well in practice, then honestly, it usually doesn't get called. So now sometimes it's a little different in the game because the aggressiveness of the defense might be different than what the aggressiveness is of the scout team, and so sometimes some of those plays are designed to really get everybody up and then get behind them. You don't always get that reaction in practice, but again, generally speaking, some of our kind of one-time plays, misdirection or double passes, things like that, those guys have executed them pretty well in practice. So I have confidence in. And you want the guy that has the ball to have confidence. You want to have confidence in the guy who has the ball, that if something goes wrong, that it's not gonna, you're not gonna turn the ball over. If it's not there, then you just throw it away and go back and line up again, run another play.
Final question? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you very much, Bill Belichick there after the big win over the Jets today, 54-13. Very long answer about the Bourne touchdown pass, which it brings up a question here that was specifically for you, Fred. Cody in Indiana says, I remember being really excited when they signed Smith and Henry, moderately excited when they signed Aguilar, and just meh when they signed Devin Bourne. But he's proven to be a nice little player with James White out. I'm thinking I'm going to claim Devin is my favorite player on the team. Fred, your thoughts? Cody in Indiana.
That's fine. Right? He's a good guy. He's a good player. I think he's contributed to the team, and he's getting better with every game.
It's Cody. That's not me. That's Cody.
And it's Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I said Devin, because I was thinking about that team meeting, and I heard it was Devin that called it. So I was thinking Devin.
It happens.
Yeah.
Just explain it to Cody. He's the one busting your onions.
I don't care.
That's all right. Everybody's happy.
Hardy, our decision to go with the Bears was an errant call on our part. Evidently, the Bears have just decided to turn the ball over on every possession. This is their 4th turnover of the day. It's 21-0.
I'm having a bad week on the six-pack. Was going to be able
Mac
to?
Jones still is the best
you
rookie
are
quarterback.
You are 0-3 on the six-pack, staring down the barrel of 0-4.
I know. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Am I doing bad?
You're 1-2. I'm 2-1.
That's all right. Won't worry about that for now.
You guys were 3-3 in the over/under, so it's not bad. You were only a game behind me this week in over/unders.
Right.
I was 4-2. So
All right.
You didn't
Baby
completely
steps.
fall apart.
David in Bethlehem wants to know: are the woes of the O-line now fixed, or was it the inept Jets defensive line the reason for success? Which lineman do you think showed most improvement?
I'm going to ask Joey Bosa next week, and then we'll know a little bit more.
But I'm not even necessarily like anything that looked great today. I'm not going to just assume was fixed. Like, they played really well today, and as I mentioned a while ago, I thought today was the first game all year that I thought they played really well as a team. That doesn't mean I think that they're all fixed. I think there's still things that need to be done and improved upon. The offensive line, I thought the Patriots dictated everything that happened in the game today. There was no real chance for how many screens. Like I thought all the screens early in the game are done for a reason. You know what they're done for? To mitigate pressure, which was a problem the first time, as Fred pointed out in that Week 2 game. So they came out today with all different kinds of variations of screens. They were conventional screens. They were tight end screens. They were misdirection screens.
And what type of team,
that gets rid of the pressure because you gotta back off. You can't be so aggressive.
Exactly. Those screens work against teams that are aggressive. That want to get upfield.
Yeah. So I do think the offensive line was good today. I reiterate what Mike said in the pregame. You pick your best 5, and they went with the best 5.
Yeah,
I think this is it.
And I think the bigger question is when Trent Brown comes back, where does he go? Does he go to left tackle?
I'm not sure he's coming. I'm not sure. This is not snark.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's coming back. I think his MO is that he might not be back.
And if he does come back, for how long? I mean, you're
Right.
talking about like maybe a game or even a half where you have to worry about him positioning-wise.
But if he does come back, my guess is he goes back to right tackle, and Onwenu goes back to left guard, and Karras goes out. But I'm not convinced that that's going to happen.
Okay. We'll step
We'll see.
aside here.
He's eligible to practice this week, correct?
I believe so.
That was the 3rd game he missed. So he will be eligible to practice this week. We'll see if they end up bringing him back.
Let's see if they bring him to L.A.
Right.
Yeah, starting with that. Bose, by the way, proud to be the official sound and official headphones of the New England Patriots and the NFL. Bose Quiet Comfort Earbuds. Rule the quiet. Learn more at Bose.com. The Patriots postgame show presented by Cyber Reason continues next.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
TouchView Interactive is here to support your hybrid learning, distance learning, and video conferencing needs with easy-to-use tools that allow end users to collaborate, interact, and present seamlessly. TouchView Interactive offers a comprehensive line of accessories and software to support your audio-visual needs. Outfit your classrooms and presentation spaces with the future of interactive display technology. Visit touchview.com for more info. Offered by the Oakers Company, celebrating 100 years of service and support.
That looks awful. Football's back and it's time to go big. Pepsi pulled pork sandwiches are game day greatness. Now we're ready for game day. Check out some more awesome recipes on madeforpatriotswatching.com.
It all starts now.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
They shot the A-gap is what they did.
They did. Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
855-PATS-500, that's the number to call, and join us here on the Patriots Postgame Show, the Ace Ticket Hotline. Once again, 855-PATS-500, Patriots Postgame Show presented by Cyber Reason. We have a bunch of emails to get to here. They're all coming in, and you can continue to send them. webradio@patriots.com. Gentlemen, says Joe in Osprey, Florida, Pats took care of the business that was in front of them. Robert Saleh should be on the good list for keeping his head from exploding while watching his team. He maintained an unbelievable external calm when we know the fires of hell must have been burning in his head. I do have to say that was, even before Zach Wilson went out, a team that was just kind of melting down before his eyes. Maybe the stair runs before the game helped him maintain his composure.
As soon as I saw that, automatic loss.
You mentioned it on the pregame.
I don't like visiting coaches running on stairs in stadiums.
Do you find it disrespectful?
It's a hardo move.
Hardo, definitely.
You got do that on your own time. Yeah. You're here, so I didn't like that. But I found myself feeling a little bad for him. Because you've never been a head coach in the NFL before, so you get a job offer. You can't say no, right? But if there is a job that you would say no if you could, it'd be the Jets. And so your first opportunity to be a head coach is with that
You
lousy,
wonder why they hate us.
That lousy New Jersey franchise. And I just his demeanor on the sideline was just one of resignation.
Yeah.
And
you got the second overall pick. You're coming to a team where you think, hey, they got a chance to get a talented guy, and he gets hurt.
And for all we know, we didn't even want Wilson.
Why don't we give
it wasn't his pick.
Why don't we give him a couple of years before we decide we pity him?
Yeah.
You
well, I just
condescending douche.
Wow. That's insubordination.
Because Paul knows it's all
I
that
know
is.
I know what it's
all that
coming
is
from.
a shot at the Jets.
Yes, it's shtick. I get it.
It's like for years, I just feel bad for Andrew Luck. I just feel so bad for him. That was just a shot at the Colts.
Yeah, you have to get us. You don't get us.
No, okay, well,
I wouldn't really say that to my boss.
I think you just said it to your boss.
No.
And I think you said it in a...
Insulted him a little bit.
Yeah, you're a little bit out of line. Matt in Newport Beach wants to know about the nod. Now, was the nod a
The nod was given very early today.
Okay, so the nod still exists even in the post-Brady era?
It's a complicated nod, I find.
Oh, my God.
Well, he was nodding off because he had a big breakfast.
I was nodding off. Ask Deuce. I almost fell asleep in the second quarter. 3rd and 24 for the Cardinals. Threw a bomb down the sideline to A.J. Green. But, yes, I looked at Deuce on the first possession of the game when the Patriots scored, and it was 3rd and 7 or so for the Jets. I said, in the old days, a failed third down right here would result in the nod. And then they didn't get it, and then the Patriots went down and scored. I said, old Patriots or no, the nod has been given. This game is over.
Well, Matt in Newport Beach wants to know specifically, and don't do it yet. You can do it for the camera.
I won't.
He wants to know what the nod looks like. He said, is it a quick up and down, a slow raising of the chin, a single up and down, and is there any eyebrow movement? So I don't know if you can, duplicate it or replicate it in a non-game situation.
I didn't even know you're allowed
like
to
this-
look at the
it's
nod. You can talk about the
it's
nod,
like
but
this-
don't look at the nod.
It's like this, Hardy.
Let's see if you can do it. That's it. Oh my God. That's it. It's the pursed lips.
Right.
It's the
Freddie.
That's
Exactly.
it.
There it is.
That's it.
It's the
And there it is.
eyes closed, no eyebrows.
Freddie will
high
tell you
lids.
the most legendary nod ever. 15 seconds in at Cleveland in 04. Bethel Johnson returned the opening kick for a touchdown. I looked at Freddie. I said,
Wow, you were nodding all the way back in 04?
yeah.
I mean, that was
03 is when it came into play.
the 20-game win streak, right?
What are we doing for the 20-year anniversary of the nod in a couple of years here? Is there going to be T-shirts?
Well,
I think at the very
nod
least.
has been in hibernation for
Yeah,
quite some time.
because the nod stopped working for a while.
For a
Well,
while.
not that it
Not
stopped
against
working.
the
It
Jets.
hasn't been warranted
Yeah.
in a while.
Yeah.
Let's go to Suzanne in Canada. Suzanne on the Patriots Postgame Show, presented by Cyber Reason. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hey.
First time, long time.
Excellent.
Yeah, we love watching here from St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. Just wondering if you guys think, Lamondre Stevenson, is he done now? Has he slipped back behind J.J. Taylor?
No, that was a head scratcher. That he was a scratch today. I was looking forward to seeing him after last week's performance.
Me too.
Yeah. Like Paul said earlier, like when everybody was healthy and James White was still on the team, they still had all those players, and now White's gone, and it seems like they're now always scratching a guy when in the past they'd have him still all active. So it was weird. It was weird. Maybe they wanted more defensive backs. I don't know.
I think it could have been a game plan thing. Maybe they're just giving JJ a chance if they're only rotating. But I don't.
I like JJ in. I don't understand
both
Stevenson
of them.
out.
Yeah, I don't understand it really either. But I don't think he did anything last game to land him in the doghouse too much. I think he'll be back, but. But both those guys, how much action are they going to get? That's my question. Are either one of them going to be significant?
Well, in a game like today, they could have had plenty of reps.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Suzanne, thanks for the call. Thanks for listening. Don't be a stranger. We'll go to Bill in San Diego. Bill on the Patriots postgame show. Hi, Bill.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Bill.
I wanted to start by saying that Suzanne just took my question. So
that's okay.
But,
yeah, I wanted
I'm
to
very
see
happy
Stevenson
about
today.
the game. Very pleasing game for that. Let me ask you this. Remember years ago when Josh McDaniels left and he had a disastrous career in Denver and then with the Rams, and then he was welcomed back with open arms?
Yes.
Could you see that, or would you want that as a possibility with Brian Flores if he doesn't last the season? Maybe they bring him back next year and have him take over as the de facto D coordinator?
Yes, I'd love that.
I would love that too, based on what it looked like with Brian Flores as the defensive coordinator here before. I mean, it's tough to say anything about it, in the wake of today's game.
Especially if Miami is still paying part of his contract.
Oh, that'd be
yeah.
lovely.
I don't think Flores is going to get fired, but I would love that if that unfolded that way.
I think they're going to give him some time to see what he looks like with Deshaun Watson and his quarterback, and then then they'll decide after that. So
right, I agree.
Yeah, there's gonna be some time.
Plus, I also think Tua is making some strides. Like their team they've missed on some of the things that they've done to try to put the team together, and they're struggling like crazy. They're not a good team.
Stefan here from Frankfurt starts with a statement. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with this. He says, "Hi guys, that actually looked like a Patriots team." He said the injuries are a worry, and it's a pity they don't seem to be able to get a touchdown pass to Myers. Still, I know we can't expect to see any more games like that this season, but the Patriots are trending in the right direction. And after last season, the beginning of this season, that's something to be happy about. Did that look like a Patriots team out there today?
Well, it looked like a Patriots team of old.
Yes, I agree.
Scoreboard did.
But we don't, not of the last 2 years. I mean, the Patriots are what they are.
But that's the kind of Patriots that you get the lead right off the go. The game was over 8 minutes into the game. There was no longer in question, and they just throttled an inferior opponent. That's old school Patriots.
Yes, and if you look at nothing more than the scoring drives, and when the scores were put up and how they worked, yes, it looks like a blowout. Patriots win at home. It's the trickery that gets thrown in there every so often, where you think, "Wow, that doesn't look very Patriot-like."
I know, but you can
or
honestly,
the passing numbers at the end of the first half too.
Yeah, but you can honestly say if they hadn't done those tricks, they still would have blown them out. It's like they didn't need to do those.
Right. I think that's why people are questioning why they did them.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But only one of them worked, really. I mean, the throwback to Mac was off balance, and then the other one that Mac had to throw away real quick at the feet of Harris because they had pressure.
But there have been some plays where they needed that. Like you said, the offense was, stuck in the mud, and they needed that jump start, and that's where, to me, it's concerning. It's like, oh, geez, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be doing anything. I think they could have done anything they wanted today.
Yes. I agree, Freddie.
He closes with this. So far, I think Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback in the league. Even when he didn't play his best in the first half, he didn't make any glaring mistakes. That bodes well for the future. I think the future looks decent right now with Mac Jones in terms of him being the best rookie quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I haven't seen enough from a couple of them to really have a fair judgment yet.
Yeah.
But
there was a throw or two that I was impressed with today, but he came out of the game so quick. I think wasn't he like 2 for 4? Like what? He didn't get to throw that many passes.
I mean, Trevor
6 for 10.
I watched a little Trevor Lawrence. He's a better quarterback.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Trevor yet. Highlights.
He's a better quarterback than Mac Jones, but he's just in a really, really bad team.
Boomer size and disagrees.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Just look at Trevor Lawrence. The throws he makes on the run. He's really a special talent. I do feel sorry for him. He's on a terrible team
For real,
with
or
a terrible coach.
does he hate the Jags?
I don't think he hates.
No.
I don't think he hates the Jags.
No, not the way I hate
But
the
it
Jags.
is, you know, there are a lot of things that now over the span of a couple of years, it all evens out because everybody will have the same opportunity. But like right now, Fred's right. Like you can't really. I think Mac Jones has been the best rookie quarterback. Matter of fact, I don't really think it's close. But you can't argue that you're watching Zach. You think Mac Jones would have been any better than 54-13 today if he was the Jets quarterback? I mean, honestly,
No.
Because if you do, we can have a conversation about it. But the support around Mac Jones so vastly exceeds the support around Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And those are the two guys we're talking about. You know, Justin Fields is trying to play now. He's the backup that's forced in because Andy Dalton got hurt.
Yeah,
He's going to be fine, and Lance doesn't play. So, like, those are your rookie quarterbacks.
I get he'll always be compared to those guys, but you know, for me, the thing that I think about most is Mac Jones the guy that can compete with Josh Allen in Buffalo and win this division? Can he consistently beat Zach Wilson? Like, you know, that's the stuff that matters. Is Mac Jones the guy that can take you to the next level? Not is he better than the quarterback from the Jaguars, for me at least.
Sorry, Brady
Ridiculous.
just completed
Brady's
a
still good.
60-yard downfield pass.
Yeah, this just in. Brady's still good.
Oh.
Yeah. Holy crap.
He's just an absolute
Oh,
dropped in there.
It's like you can't drop it. He puts it so perfectly. Like you just
and
have to
Evans
put your
tr- and
arms
Evans
like
tried
in a
to.
position.
Evans tried to drop
and
it.
It just goes right to where it needs to be.
Oh, good grief. That's something else.
I
And
think that's his fourth today. Yeah.
okay.
Well, I saw some. He had 6 incompletions in a row, and that was a record for him, which just sounds crazy to me.
Keith in Montreal on the Patriots postgame show. Hi, Keith.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, can you
Hey.
hear me?
Oh,
yes,
great.
Yes.
Yeah, 10 for 19 for 109 and 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
Big Pats fan here in Montreal.
Excellent.
You know, been watched all the games, and you know, being realistic, a break here or there. I mean, first off, you know, they could have been coming into this game at 500 or better. And I'm glad, you know, they really had their way, because you don't want to have another squeaker like they had last week in Houston, where, you know, you're playing against an inferior team and you basically have to squeak it out. So
I'm not sure
I like the fact that, you know, they put the foot on the gas pedal. My concern, you know, this year is that they get in the red zone, and thankfully today it was much different. But you know, I'm thinking you brought in Hunter and
Janu.
Yes, Janu. And
His
I'm
dog
thinking
was
when you get inside-
reminding him, Janu!
Janu. When you get inside the red zone, this is where I thought, you know, they would really be using them a whole lot more, because it's tough. You know, you get inside, you know, that area, and it's tough to get the touchdown. So I'm glad they had success today. But moving forward, these guys need to be so involved, you know, in the play calling. Just your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have the tight ends have combined for 5 touchdowns, right?
I believe. I mean, yeah. What do we got? 3 straight
I mean,
games,
we're
4
in
straight games. from
7
100?
games, they've combined for 5 of the touchdowns. I don't think that's a bad total.
Yeah, 4 straight.
I think what they haven't been able to do in the red zone prior to today is run the ball. Today, I think they had 4 rushing touchdowns. I mean, close, correct? That's what you need to see more of. You know, today was 5 for 5. Obviously, you know, everything worked today, Keith, so it didn't really matter what they were doing. But I think you have seen the tight ends be more and more involved. Hunter Henry, I thought, made a comment today that I read on the Twitter machine about how he does feel a little bit more comfortable after missing chunks of the preseason. He's more comfortable with Mac Jones, and I think that connection is developing.
Keith,
that was a great play by Henry today. That was not a great throw by Mac Jones in the
Right.
red zone.
Keith, let me ask you something. You're in Montreal. You speak French?
You're from Montreal.
Pretty much.
Okay, so
Pretty much.
we teach our kids dogs say either woof woof or bow wow when you're doing that with children in French. What does a French dog say?
We have 4 dogs, but trust me, it sounds I want food. I'm hungry.
Yeah, but do they say bow wow? Do they say woof woof? What do they say?
They just make a lot of noise, a lot
Okay.
of chatter.
All right.
One last question for you.
I don't know if we have time. All right, thank you for the call there, Keith.
There you go.
Well, we got more.
Would you like to sample a warm French baguette?
Amanda in Australia. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for calling the Patriots postgame show.
Hey, how you going?
Hey.
Good day, mate.
I just wanted to call in and say good morning. It's 8 o'clock here for us. But how good was it to see Max smiling on the sideline today?
Loved it.
After that big win.
Love it.
I like seeing him react to the final score and the big plays that Brian Hoyer made there down the stretch. I thought that was good. I mean, he remained engaged. He was rooting for his team. It was good to see.
Sitting with Josh,
I
you know,
think that
yucking it up,
right?
warms you right down to the cuckles.
Paul doesn't like any of that stuff. Paul hates.
No. I'm reacting to the cuckles.
Well, I thought it was the perfect word to use.
I don't even know what he's talking
You know,
about.
warm the cuckles of his heart. I know what he's saying.
I've got a question for you, Fred. I haven't spoken to you before.
Yeah.
But my partner wanted me to ask the other day when you were talking about EPL teams and that you were going for the Tigers. Did you mean Richmond from the AFL here in Australia from when you got
No,
the
I was
jacket?
referring to the Ted Lasso show. But I will tell you, I have a Richmond jacket from Australia.
At the time when you got that, they were pretty bad, but
They came up
lately.
and they came up to visit, and they gave me a jacket.
Oh, that's very nice. All right. Well,
So,
how was
we
your
should go
first
for
time
the
talking to
Eagles
Fred,
instead.
Amanda? I mean, was it everything that you thought it would be?
It was amazing. I can't wait to do it again.
All right. Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for checking in. We appreciate it.
How's it down under?
No, she's gone.
Oh,
Is that Vita V?
In high
he's like a
school.
running
Did you
back.
see that?
Yeah.
We have a email here from Brett who said there was a battle of wits this week on Patriots Unfiltered.
Nitwits.
About the use of young players this season. One possibility neither side mentioned was that winning so big that young players would get to see some time. Wasn't able to watch the game. Were there any players that got opportunities that haven't been able to get?
Not necessarily because of the score. I thought Taylor got an opportunity today. Now, he did get 2 late touchdowns, but I thought he got an opportunity to play today and made some plays earlier in the game as well. This was one of those games that the argument happens and Fred could say, see, I told you, and I could say, see, I told you. Like Brandon Bolden is one of the older guys who plays, and he had his best game of the year today on Fred's side. I would point to Taylor. I would point to the lack of involvement for other guys and some of the struggles and some contributions from some young guys that get out there and sort of look a little bit better than,
Miles Bryant.
Miles Bryant was one.
6 tackles.
I still don't really see a whole lot from, Dante Hightower was inactive. Your best defensive game of the year.
How bad is Sean Wade's concussion?
He's been out for a few weeks now.
I mean, I really don't think Sean Wade's in the equation here. Like, I know everybody seems to think like
he was a second-round pick, wasn't he?
No,
lower.
And he also was going to get. Do you know he was going to get cut as a rookie, right?
I know, but what
he was like a 6th-round pick.
Was he 6th? Yeah. Why did I think
So
he was?
he was a
higher
5th
than
or he was the 5th or 6th-round pick. He was a late-round pick.
Can we get a number on Sean Wade?
Fact check on that.
But he also was going to get cut.
I know, but like
5th round, 1/6.
5th round.
5th-round pick. That's a late-round pick.
I know, but if we had drafted a corner in the 5th round, we'd be like, "Where's so and so? Why isn't he out there?"
No, you wouldn't.
But you don't read the blog.
Well, no, I don't. Neither. I'll be nice. Wow. Neither does anybody else.
But I think with him, it's like he's like Mills. Like he's not an outside like long corner that would offer some intrigue of hey maybe he could give us some flexibility and allow Mills to move inside. I think he's got questions on the outside and that's why it's another slot
like this
guy.
whole they're really banged up. They had a game that because of COVID, they had a patchwork offensive line. Right? Like, I mean, that was a mess. They had 4 guys out, but 2 of those guys were out because of COVID, not because they're banged up, injured, and all this stuff. They, Shaq Mason missed 2 games. Hightower had to miss a game today. They really, Jonathan Jones is out now for a little bit. Aside from Trent Brown, what are they missing for any length of time? Like they're just like everybody else in
Yep.
terms. They're missing some guys here and there. Like the Jets were missing. The Jets weren't banged up. They were missing C.J. Mosley and Tevin Coleman.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
I wouldn't say injuries are the problem this year.
Right.
No,
I wouldn't say
now
that.
they could be. I mean,
Yeah, down
as you move down the road.
Well, that's why we're seeing too. It sounds like a PCL injury, perhaps for Zach Wilson. They're expecting to miss time. I thought that stinks.
I thought they said that they didn't think it was anything.
They
serious,
thought it was the knee feels loose. I'm not sure. That's what I was saying.
I wouldn't be
It's
surprised if you don't see him then.
All right. For a 54-13 game, you'd think we'd be spending more time talking about Mac Jones. We talked a little bit, but what did Mac have to say for himself after the 41-point margin of victory today here at Gillette Stadium? Let's find out. Here's the quarterback.
Questions for Mac? I don't get the pick. Stacy's got it.
Mac, just your thoughts on the first home victory, your first victory here at Gillette Stadium, and the offensive explosion that you guys were able to put.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, that's what we want to do, and I think we got a little flavor of if we do everything right throughout the week and practice well and do our job in the game, it kind of translates over, and you just play together as a unit, as an offense, and then special teams played well, really good, and the defense played great. So it's all three phases, and that's what happens when you can do that. And, I mean, we're not satisfied. We got plenty of games left, and we're excited. We finally kind of saw a little bit of a result that was good, and we just got to stick to the formula and stick to the process.
So we have first was Jacoby, now Kendrick getting into the mix for throwing touchdown passes. How is it having the ability to have the threat to throw the ball around, spread around so much, and being able to execute in the trick plays?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it just adds another variable to our offense, and Josh does a great job scheming up, and I'm not going to give away all of our trick plays, but I think there are good ones. Sometimes we run them, sometimes we don't, and it just adds like a third element to the game. And KB had a nice little throw there and a good celebration. So.
Mac, I think you guys scored every time you touched the ball in the first half, but how important was it for you guys to start fast? And when you scored touchdowns on the first two drives, what did that do for the group's confidence going forward?
Yeah, I think the energy was really good. We've made an emphasis on to start fast, and that's what every team wants to do when they get the ball. Try and score a field goal or a touchdown. And when we do that, it's good. And when we don't, we just have to keep playing. So you've seen us do both, and we just got to continue to come out. And the offensive line had great juice early on, and they played great. I don't think I got hit, but maybe one time on like a trick play or something. So it was really impressive the way they played and came together, and just everybody just playing together, and all 11. So.
Mac, is it coincidental that on National Tight End Day that you targeted the tight ends for 9 times? And just to follow that up, is that something you're trying to do, is ramp up the tight end position?
Yeah, Hunter told me it was National Tight End Day before the game, actually. Not that it had anything to do with it, but it was just funny. And, I think tight ends, all of our tight ends play well, and they play well in the run game and the pass game, and they do exactly what they're supposed to do. So I think it's good when you have great skill players and great running backs, great receivers, and then, our line's coming together, and we're going to keep making progress. And I felt comfortable back there, and they did a great job. So it takes all groups and not one specific group. So it is good to see everyone getting a little bit of their share, and we just got to keep doing that.
Hey, Mac, how much of a boost can this game give you, you personally and the offense as a whole?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to stacking days, and today we're focused on today, and that's a result that showed. We came in and we had good energy. 1 o'clock kickoff, and we were ready to play. So we got to do that every time. It can't be a one-time thing. Like I said, we're not satisfied at all by any means. We have plenty of work to do and plenty to get better at, and it just makes it more fun when you can see a little bit of results, and then just, like I said, focus on the process of the week and focus on how we can get better.
Mac, how did it feel to be able to get a chance to execute a 2-minute drive at the end of the half there, and did you feel like that helped you get into any kind of rhythm at all?
Yeah, I think Josh did a good job there, just pushing the tempo, calling great plays, and then offensive line doing their job. I had plenty of time, and we were going fast, and with speed comes communication, so that's always good and puts stress on the defense. And yeah, we did a good job just moving the ball down the field, and I'll have to watch it and just see what I can do better. I know one of the throws was really bad to the right on a little flare. I remember that one, so I'll try and fix that and just keep moving forward.
Last question, Alex Barth in the middle.
Mac, what'd you see on the deep pass to Kendrick? It seemed like you guys were hunting that play a few times today.
Yeah, I think just it was just a one-on-one opportunity, and all of our guys got open, and it's just pick your poison. So I just had good time in the pocket. Offense line did a good job protecting, and then just let it go, and he made a good play. So we can continue to do that and just continue to refine other areas that we want to work on, and so it was a good start. Cool, thanks. See ya.
The women's team is struggling.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. There goes the quarterback, Mac Jones, after his day at Gillette Stadium, which did not end well. He was pulled for poor play in favor of backup Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised nobody brought that up.
Pulled for poor performance.
No, of course, Mac had a fantastic day. 24-36, better in the second half. And it wasn't bad in the first half. We talk about the things we were looking for, and, no mistakes, no picks. Hold on to the ball. Don't fumble it. Don't get yourself into situations where you need to call silly timeouts because you don't know what you're doing and what's going on. And, yeah, there were a few penalties today. I think there was one timeout that Mac did have to call on a third down.
Yeah, you're going to have penalties.
Yeah, and you do have to call some timeouts when you're not sure about things. But beyond that, I didn't say zero penalties, Fred. If you're looking to just argue for sport, I'm saying.
Well, there were some penalties today. But
there were a couple on defense.
Because some
couple on
jag
defense
will say, what about this
Yeah.
penalty?
Yeah.
What about that? And
Six for 95. That's a lot of yards with the penalties, but I didn't
the
think
Brandon
penalties-
King penalty was dumb.
That was dumb,
That was-
and they had a couple of defensive penalties that extended drives. It didn't matter because they had such a big lead. But to me, the bigger thing is the three. I always say the 3 Ps. It was to protect the ball, protect the passer, and prevent the penalties. The two protections were protecting the passer was really good, and they didn't put the ball in harm's way at all today.
Yeah. Yeah, especially on offense. There wasn't those penalties that always seem to negate a third down or make it
critical.
Takes it from like 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 13.
Yeah, and you were able, because you played so much better today, like you did get an early holding call to set up a 1st and 20 that you overcame.
Yeah, they had a 28-yard play after that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, more of your emails here. webradio@patriots.com. This really hasn't been happening. Mike B. in D.C. said he's looking forward to Paul gradually pushing back against the over-the-top fan reaction of this game, and Fred constantly reminding him of the score of this game. It really hasn't been that, Fred. I don't feel you've been put in that position by Paul. And Paul, for your part, you haven't battled back.
Patriots were 1,000% dominant today, so there's no reason to say that there's nothing. But I would say on the flip side of that, I haven't heard a lot of over-the-top fan reaction to it. I think people are saying, great performance today. Like, not like, see, they should have won all the other games.
Yeah.
No, today they were great.
I got a couple people that asked me, how will Paul make me feel bad about this game?
Well,
not here to make you feel bad. I'm only here to analyze the games as they happen.
I think Murray and Dartmouth is a pretty good example of this fan reaction. He said 2 thoughts. Number one, is that the kind of game the Patriots needed or what? Obviously, it was against the Jets, but still nice to see some good execution today. Last week's game versus Dallas was the first Pats game that actually got me kind of excited since Brady left. And number 2, for Paul specifically, but all free to chime in after the master has spoken.
Oh, boy.
Is Mills as bad as he looks to me in coverage, or am I just being a Perillo?
There was one play today that Mike and I looked at each other and were like, what was his thought process on? It was a play that Crowder, I think, started in the slot and ran deep down the seam, and Mike White, of all people, just dropped it right into the bucket. He was so flat-footed at the snap that he was beaten almost immediately. And I just wondered, what was his thought process heading into that play? Like, what did he think was going to happen? He didn't get a hand on him. He couldn't run with him. I don't know exactly what his end game was on that. I think he was lucky it wasn't a touchdown.
I think it's just it's well tread territory now with what he was when he got here and what they were going to ask him to do, and I think the obvious thing over the course of the first 7 games is that offenses are looking at him and keep places, and I think some of the third down struggles where you saw the penalty by him, I think he's a target, and maybe he'll get better. But I just think that they're asking a lot more of him than they should have been when they brought him in, which was be the Jason McCourty guy, fill in on third downs, come in, we'll move you around, we'll do different stuff with you. Not happening.
Brady just threw an absolute laser to
Dart.
Mike Evans in the back of the end zone.
With a guy wrapped around him.
34, soon to be 35-3 against the Bears, and they are still in the first half. Just a few ticks
You know what's
left.
funny?
Oh.
My whole nonsense about, he struggled with them last year. He's 15 for 28, which is a ridiculously bad percentage for him, but he's got 4 touchdowns.
Those 6 incompletions he had in a row. What was going on there?
There was a moment.
I mean, for him to be around 50% is really bad for him.
Yeah. There was a moment when
Slipping.
White came into the game, and Jim Louth, who is, kind of like my football voice of reason when I'm watching
Fred,
the game.
Jim Louth makes you look like the biggest hater that's ever walked the planet.
But Louth said, when, because we're watching Zach Wilson, he's like, God, the Jets' offense with Zach Wilson, every play's a fire drill. Every player's a scramble out of the pocket or a shovel pass or something like, ah! And White came in and
He actually settled him down a little
settled
bit.
him down. He said, huh. And he said, I wonder.
Okay, now I'm going to be Paul now.
No.
Here it comes.
You don't see the difference between when Mike White comes in the game as opposed to Zach Wilson in terms of the approach that the defense has?
Well,
they were after Zach Wilson on the first snap of the game and never relented until he went out. With Mike White, they said, go ahead, buddy.
Well,
you got whatever you want.
But
They no longer went after him. They no longer blitzed. Like everything. Like the third play of the game was a Miles Bryant slot corner blitz. Like they didn't do that to Mike White. Why? Because they didn't have to.
But in terms of the way the defense approached the game, that's exactly what Jim said. He said, I wonder if they game planned and we're just thinking, all right, we have to defend against a fire drill offense all week, and that guy you can go after and just flush him out of the pocket and see if he's going to make a mistake. They weren't planning for a guy who was going to, all right, they weren't planning on playing a game where they were just going to sit back and see what he did. So they maybe had to change their approach a little bit.
No,
that's
I
all.
just think that the game is over at that point. You sit back, make sure they don't get any 70-yard plays. Mike White can't get any 70-yard plays, so no need to blitz him.
I got to say, this is one of the first times a backup quarterback's come in, and I'm like, who is that? I had no idea who Mike White was.
I'd never heard of him.
But it felt like kind of like Davis Mills. Like they played Davis Mills where, I mean.
And what happened when Davis Mills played?
Hey, when completed passes and then.
No, but down the field.
Yeah.
So the Patriots said, we're not going to let this guy do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to get in the backfield. We don't need to get around him. We just let him be let him be Mike White and see if he can throw a 15-yard out. This just in, he can't. He missed about 7 of them, one of which he threw right to J.C. Jackson. So that's, I think, to me, that's the whole difference. The game was over before he went in the game. It was 17-7. They were on the 2-yard line when he came out of the game. So let's say it was 17-7. The game was already over. It was already well established. The game would have been 54-13 with or without Zach Wilson.
All right, let's step aside here one final time. Correct there, Mr. Morella? All right, we will do that and then return to...
I was ready for the final score for the final time.
Oh, no, believe me, I'm ready too. Patriots Postgame Show is brought to you by Cyber Reason. Great defenders don't just play on the field. They're also protecting your company and data. Cyber Reason on a mission to end ransomware. Keep your business undefeated against cyber attacks. Learn more at cyberreason.com/ransom.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
That looks awful. Football's back and it's time to go big. Pepsi pulled pork sandwiches are game day greatness. Now we're ready for game day. Check out some more awesome recipes on madeforpatriotswatching.com.
It all starts. It all starts now.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
The corner reached up and grabbed the receiver's face mask, and it's like...
That makes me feel not better.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
That makes me feel highly ungood. Couple of missed penalties out there today by the officials. The officials didn't factor into this much one way or the other, except for blowing the touchdown call on Kendrick Bourne's touchdown reception. But there was a missed face mask call.
Oh,
on the I believe it was on the Jet sideline today. Is that right?
I
can't remember.
I didn't see a face mask.
There was they missed a face mask. They missed a couple of things, but again, not
kept
much.
Changing their minds. Like a couple, those
drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Flag goes down.
Oh yeah.
There is no flag for an illegal shift.
Who threw
There
it?
is
and
no
why?
flag for an illegal formation. Then I want the guy fired.
Right now.
He saw an illegal formation, and someone else could say, "No, that's not illegal."
Right.
So if the guy who overruled him is correct, I want the other guy fired.
Yeah. Or reprimanded at least.
Fired.
Send him back to.
How's that?
Refu.
Yeah, I think firing
Too strong.
might.
Too strong.
Little strong.
No, I get frustrated with there is no foul on the play.
Back to the face mask. What play are you talking about?
Was
it against the Patriots or?
Because this depends on whether or not Fred agrees with
exactly. Was it in the Patriots' favor?
It was no. It was a Patriots player, and it was on the Jets sideline because all the players on the Jets were going nuts about it.
It didn't happen.
Okay, it didn't happen.
So a Jet got face masked and they didn't call it?
Correct.
Makes sense.
Matt in Connecticut, you guys engaged in quite the debate over Bill's usage of younger players on Patriots Unfiltered a few days back.
Yes.
Specifically, a possible bias Bill may have toward KVN, Hightower, McCourty, older players that impacts his personnel decisions.
Those guys leave and you put together the best performance of the season.
Not to recreate that debate, as entertaining as it was, my question is, how did the Pats defense look with Hightower and McCourty out? Is Paul thrilled?
No.
Or was today's performance...
I'm thrilled with the performance, but not because of that.
Was it more of New York's ineptitude?
Yes.
Could it be a similar younger Patriots defensive play? Could it be that they play well going forward? That's Matt in Connecticut.
Yeah, I would say that more of it had to do with the opponent than anything today.
But I mean, it gives some of the young guys an opportunity today, and that's you enjoy getting a chance to see those guys do a little bit more. I don't think it was as much as I would have thought. I mean, I think for the most part they kind of leaned into the guys that they have been leaning into. So
we did point out a bad McCourty play, I believe 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it was against the Cowboys or not when he was, I don't know, supposed to be safety valving the play, but he had
Texans.
Texans, and he just ran over to the sideline instead. But I don't think anybody wants McCourty, sat for significant periods of time. I missed that debate on
these guys do.
Unfiltered.
I don't want McCourty sat. That's why I said it doesn't make me. That's why I answered that question. It doesn't make me feel good.
No,
I'm just talking about we're an old team that's rebuilding and doesn't win. That's all I said. Like it's time to get some more guys involved. That's all. I don't want McCourty to just sit. I want Josh Uche to play a little bit more than Kyle Van Noy plays.
They play him. He doesn't do anything.
Okay, but I just want to play him every down.
I guess
Kyle Van Noy is allowed to not do anything for the whole game. I want Josh Uche to be allowed to not do anything.
That's the immediate rebuttal. What has Kyle Van Noy done this year?
Nothing.
And in terms of Dante Hightower, again, I'm not picking on Dante, but has he been impactful?
No,
not really.
So
yeah, and I mean, I would say though in the McCourty case, so it's a little bit different.
Because I think there's stuff that we don't see that he does. I don't think there's
and
anything.
according to Hightower, that's the case too.
Yeah,
we talked about that a week ago or so.
Yeah, there's some of that, but I think as these guys play more, communication becomes less of an issue. I mean, it's
Plus,
good
you
experience
need
for
three
Duggar
safeties.
and Phillips to get out there and have
Like
to do it without him.
You need three safeties, and Duggar, Phillips, and McCourty are the three safeties. So I think it's different. I think there's guys that don't get any snaps along the front seven. I think Barmore plays more and more, it seems to me, every week. I like that. I want to see more of that.
Final thoughts on the game today here, Deuce?
Hey, exciting. Glad to watch a big home win. Glad for the guys to see them get that. But, hey, this is in the past, 3 and 4. Got to go out to L.A., play a good Chargers team, good offense. There's going to be a big challenge. So let's see what they're made of out there on the West Coast.
Fred?
Yeah, I mean, like I said when I first got here, this looked like a good team beating up on a bad team. Okay, I like that.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Let's build on that. Let's go out to L.A. and beat the Chargers.
Yeah, I would say let's hope the Chargers look like the Jets did coming off the bye. The Chargers be doing the same thing next week. I think you have an opportunity to get some momentum going and work on that. I think it's winning or losing. Obviously, it's huge if you win, but I think they need to stack good performances together. No sloppy turnovers. Show that you can play 2 good games in a row.
Will we be in costume for next week's pregame and postgame show, as it is on All Hallows Eve?
I will.
You're going to be in costume.
Yeah.
Deuce impressed me as the type of grown man who likes to dress up for Halloween.
I got something good.
Yeah.
I got something good.
Usually
for you.
cross-dressing.
Yep.
Like bosom buddies.
I don't want to ruin anything, but
Peter Scolari.
I know.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Rest in peace once again to Bob Newmeyer. We mentioned it briefly in the pregame show.
Bob Newmeyer died?
Oh, I'm sorry to let you know like that, Fred.
I
Yeah,
didn't know
Newby
that.
passed away last night.
Oh,
Great guy.
I didn't know that.
Great guy. So thank you all again for listening and watching. We will do it again next week. The final score for the final time.
Jets.
13.
Patriots.
54.
Wow.
That's for you, Paul.
54. That's a lot.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.